on my last nerve, man.
He said it got to blow up.
They got the balloon got to blow up in your damn face. I was like, okay, bro, you got it. I ain't got nothing to say.
Oh man, airborne.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Planet Xbox, episode 34. Let's get the show started. It's me and NickBanks here. What's up?
Yes, sir. What's going on, y'all?
What's up? So, you know how we get this thing started. I don't know who's gonna tune in today, but like I said, I made a promise. I will go live regardless whether it's just me or if it's gonna be like 4 or 5 of us. Episode 134. A couple things happened last week. But before we get into it, I want to give a shout out to the chat. Make sure you hit the like button, the share button, let everybody know we're live. There's not too many Saturday, afternoon podcasts, you know what I mean? So let's take advantage of this moment. But before we get into it, NickBanks, what have you been playing?
Oh man, I've been playing, of course, Apex, but on the PlayStation, I've been playing Judgment because it's on the second tier, the collections.
Oh yeah, I done canceled all my PS
The
Plus
PS.
tiers because
Oh, you did?
yeah, it's
Yeah, so I went on and started trying it. I like it. It's pretty good. I mean, it's still got that dialogue, but it ain't as bad as like Yakuza 6 and all that. You know what I mean? But I like it. It's cool. Yeah, but that's it so far.
I haven't played my PlayStation since I last, I think, attempted to play God of War. I still got to beat God of War, and I still got to beat Horizon.
Damn, you still ain't beat that?
Nah, I just haven't played it. I haven't been playing it. So it's not like I've been playing it and haven't beat it. I just haven't played it. So it's like whenever I last played that, that's when I think the last time I turned on my PlayStation was for the Forspoken demo. And I only wanted to do that to see if it was good enough for me to play on PC. I still haven't bought it on PC because of the Digital Foundry video said if you have an 8 GB card, which the 3070 Ti is, that you're not going to able to get like the ultra textures, like regardless of your settings, it just won't load in. And now my only reservation about that is like, okay, well, when they usually test games on PC, they're usually testing the Steam version, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is like, okay, well, I played the demo on the Xbox app for PC, and I was able to get like I haven't like glued my eyes on it, but it looked better than the PlayStation version, right? So I was like, what textures was I not getting? So I was like, I don't know if that's just because it was a demo, and I'm not quite ready to gamble $70 on it, so I'm not sure yet. So I want to play it, like the full game. I just don't want to play it on PlayStation, and I don't want to pay $70 for it. So I'm just sort of just
hold on. You don't want to play it on PlayStation because it's $70, or
no,
you just
it's $70
would rather play it
everywhere.
on PC?
I'd rather play it on. I'd rather play it on Xbox. And the closest thing to Xbox is playing it on the Xbox app because it does support Xbox achievements on the Xbox app on PC.
Oh, so they got achievements on there for the Windows.
Yeah, so it's like it's fine. Like I don't mind games coming to PC, like in that sense. Like same thing with Death Stranding, but I didn't like Death Stranding. I've tried to play it on Game Pass. It's just like, okay, this is just sort of boring. But yeah, like Forspoken is a game, like, despite its flaws, is still a game that I know I can play through because I just like the concept. And that I'm not too worried about it. I'm just not willing to pay the 70 for it. And the $70 on PC. And so whenever the discount rolls around, or I get enough points on the Xbox rewards, I'll grab it on PC. But what I've been playing, even though I've beaten Hi-Fi Rush like last week, and put out my review, check it out if you haven't already. I've been playing, Hi-Fi Rush, trying to go back and clean up some other achievements, because the thing about Hi-Fi Rush, if you start the game on like the hardest difficulty, right, it does not unlock beating the other achievements that, like, say for that's required to beat
Oh,
it on easy or required to beat it on normal. So you kind of have to like replay it through each difficulty level to get all the achievements.
dang, that's
Um,
crazy.
which is fine. Like, the game has like a natural new game plus like built in. So I've already beat the game, got like I want to say 80% of everything. So on my second playthrough, I'm going through on easy just so I can get the achievement. But by the time I finish my playthrough, there'll be nothing else for me to unlock. So when I play on hard, there's like I'm just like full powered up. Ain't nothing else to unlock by the time I finish my easy run. And it's not like you have to sit through all the cutscenes and stuff. It's just more so level select at that point. You could pick whatever level you want to play. You could play in any order and whatnot. And as long as you finish, every level on that set difficulty, you'll get the achievement. And that's why it was people shouldn't buy into those stupid ass PlayStation stats where they go for the completion rate, and they kept highlighting. I'm like, all right, I was like, if you're gonna do that, you literally have to go to each difficulty level to see who completed, what's the completion rate on each difficulty level, because it's not like it unlocks automatically. So people were like shaming how many people beat it on easy because it wasn't that many, but it's like the average person probably played the game on normal. And that's what it was. Like the highest completion rate was on normal, and then you got easy and hard that's there, and then you just got beat, and then you also got to consider how many people beat the final boss, right? That's going to be the highest completion, because you could change the difficulty level, I believe, at any point during the game. So if you don't get like the completion for beating the game on a set difficulty, doesn't mean that person didn't beat the game. Because let's say if they kept changing their difficulty level, right, at every
right,
like
right.
because they felt like, all right, this thing is too hard, I'm gonna knock it down, right? They may not get the achievement for beating this particular game on a set difficulty, but you'll see that they still get the achievement for beating the last boss. You know what I mean? So that means they played
Oh,
through the
okay, I see
game.
what you're
So
saying.
if that number is higher, then that tells you people have been changing their difficulty throughout their playthrough. And so I was like, I don't know why PlayStation fanboys do that. Like, or why people use this narrative. Like, for some reason, when it comes to Xbox games or games that come to Game Pass, the first thing they do within 24 hours of release or less, they check the completion rate. And I'm like, nigga, the game just came out. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah, but then remember when people was doing that to God of War within a week, they was like the game just came out
Yeah.
a week ago.
Yeah.
Like, dude, like what
Yeah, so they give PlayStation games like a week to build
right.
it, but Xbox you got to beat the game within 2 hours. And then a lot of people are running with this fake narrative that Hi-Fi Rush is like a 4-hour game, or the game is literally on average 10.5 hours. It sure didn't take me to. It took
Yeah,
me a
that ain't
couple
no
days to beat
damn.
the game. It took me, I want to say, the same amount of time as it took me to beat the Callisto Protocol to beat. And on my second playthrough, I'm gonna beat it a lot quicker because, one, I have everything unlocked, I know where everything is, and I'm skipping like cutscenes so I can just get the achievement. But the other game I've been playing, I thought I was just gonna launch it and then uninstall it, like I did with a few other games that came to Xbox Game Pass. Age of Empires, right? Came out.
Oh yeah, I see you playing it.
Bro, let me tell you this. Age of
I was
Empires,
great
the
questioning
definitive.
integrity, man.
Bro,
It's like no.
yo, this is, as far as games, all right, you know how the excuse for certain games being on PC and versus Xbox and stuff, because like, the controls, the conversion from mouse to keyboard to controller. This is
Yeah.
the perfect PC to console port. Not only is it the perfect PC to console port, but the tutorial, I don't know what it is with Xbox lately, between Hi-Fi Rush and Age of Empires Definitive Edition, the ability to have a like perfect tutorial to teach you how to play the game is insane. Like,
Oh, okay.
it did
Yeah.
a great, that's the only reason why I still been playing the game, because it did a great job teaching you the mechanics, how to play, like from start to finish. I'm sorry to say, like, it's not like a hold your hand thing, but it's literally the way that, because it's narrating, it's like, hey, this is what you do, this is how you do this is how you do this, and they tell you how to do it, and they say try it, and it builds down. So I've been playing the game, and it's like, okay, I'm not gonna utilize all the tools that's in the game, and I've been playing it like to the point where it's like, okay, I know how to build things, I know how to send people from point A to point B, I know how to grab multiple items at once, I know how
So
to
are you
upgrade.
saying it didn't take you long at all
Nah, it
to
didn't
get
take me long
the
enough. Otherwise, this game would have
concept
been dropped like a bad conversation, bro. Like, but the game
of it?
is pretty good. I've been playing it. I had like an awesome gameplay loop, but my wife made me come with her to like move her car, so I had to stop this playthrough in the middle and stop it, and then I had to restart start it. But it's a lot of cool things that happen, like right. So like after the training mode, I did one mission right where I was building the town up, right, and I got invaded by the English army. They sent like I want to say 4 soldiers, right, and I at this point I don't have any military personnel. I only have one, and it's like a guard, like a watch guard or something like that. But everybody else is just town folk, just simple town folk and farmers and
builders
and shit like that. So these dudes, they sent only 4 people, so they're like destroying my farm and my windmill and stuff like that. And they're attacking my people. And the thing is, they'll defend themselves if you tell them to, right? But they only got like hammers and pitchforks and shit like that. These dudes are like armored with like shields and swords. So they were raking through my people. But the problem, the thing was, I was like, some of the things I did was like sort of out of order. So like one of the first things I did military wise was build like a military boat that had like cannons on it. And I had no guard. So I would have like my guard, I would like when there was like one person, I would have him go and kill off a soldier because he can hold his own. He's on a horse, and the chances are he's gonna win that. And then there was like a couple of them attacking my people, but they were right on the shoreline. So my boat was able to take them out. So my people in my town was able to survive with literally no army. I only had one dude, which they eventually killed, and then my boat took out the rest. And then from there, I had to like kind of regroup, build the farm up again, and build the township in it, and then upgrade them to military. And it was just like, yo, like I did that within like 2 hours, and like the game sort of just like became sort of like addicting. Like this is not like it's not a bad game. Like I probably could have played this game on like PC a long time ago, but I'm not good using like keyboard and mouse. But playing on a controller, it's suitable. They made the controls casual enough for me to continue to keep playing. And I think this is going to be like one of those games. You know how like in between games we would go to what, like NBA Live just to like kill time, just play till whatever, because you know there's no end to it. This is going to be something I do with Age of Empires, just that in between game. I have no real goals with it, just to see, you know, what happens, right? But I'm enjoying it so far. What's up, Bless?
Yo, what's up? Are you playing Age of Empires?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Age of Empires 2.
That's his joint, man. Yeah. That's
his
game of the year.
Not game of the year, but it's pretty good. It's pretty decent.
I don't know how to feel about that.
What do you mean?
That's insane. Shit, I don't even play Age of Empires. Are you playing that shit?
Yeah, I thought I'd give it a try.
You're mostly a console guy.
It was good enough during the trial period, so I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like but nah, just been that and Hi-Fi Rush. I'll be playing Hogwarts next week. Shout out to Addict, because I think he pre-ordered it. I haven't pre-ordered a game in a long time. So I'm gonna give Crisis Core a try because he applied that. I think he bought that too. Me personally, if you guys don't understand, like I don't buy Square Enix games anymore, so that's why I just like Forspoken, like I'm looking for other means of getting this game rather than just buying it, you know, outright. So yeah, Square Enix, if Addict's gonna buy the game and it just happened to be by Square Enix, cool, I'll play it. But if you know, otherwise, I'm not buying it. Good thing, like when Tomb Raider comes out, you know, it's not gonna have any Square Enix stinks on it, so you know that's the day one. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, they're the primary developers now. I mean, it's just not gonna have the title of their. Oh, I see what you mean. No, okay, yeah, Crystal Dynamics not owned by them anymore. Yeah. I guess technically. All right, fair enough.
But Bless, what have you been playing?
I've been playing COD, honestly. Modern Warfare 2. So play that, honestly. I'll do that, play that, and like listen to a podcast or just, you know, mindlessly. It's my mindless multiplayer game shooter. I booted up, or I re-downloaded Battlefield 2042. I tried that out.
I just deleted that.
You just deleted it. Fair enough.
For real, like done.
Why? You just got tired of it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just too different, bro. Like, But the last one I liked was 1. Like,
I
I don't
agree.
know.
I'm not gonna lie. I think 5 was okay, but
No, it was good, but
it released poorly, and it had like I mean, it had interesting aspects like the building mechanic where you like build up shit.
yeah,
But
that was cool.
I'll say though that the best part about 5 was
The
definitely
hit
the
detection.
oh yeah,
the way it sound when that joint, man.
yeah, hit detection was good, but I'll say, in my opinion, the best part of it was the movement. The movement in 5
Yeah,
was peak Battlefield. It
it was
sucks.
good. It was.
It sucks because like each Battlefield has something special about it. Well, at least like the last few, I'd say, outside of 2042. It's like Battlefield 4 was great modern combat. Battlefield 1 had it was like great sound design, and they added operations, which is great in terms of like multiplayer dynamic for the game. Then Battlefield 5 had great movement and something else I forget. Yeah, hit detection, but I think there was something else that was great about Battlefield 5 that's I can't think of. But yeah, 2042 is just meh. I only played like a couple of matches of it. I was playing like the TDM because I still think the Conquest maps are terrible. Like 128 game mode, like 128 players is not fun. I'm sorry, it's literally just not fun. And those maps are just too gargantuan. It's not fun. The 64 player modes is more balanced, of course, but I haven't really gotten back into that. But I tried that out. And I'm playing Need for Speed Unbound. That's the main game I'm playing right now. And I'm really liking this game. I think it might be better than Heat. I think the music is definitely better than Heat. But yeah, I think Criterion kind of just built upon what Ghost did, and in terms of like the aspects of the day and night cycle and shit. The game looks beautiful as well on PC. Well, on all platforms I saw, but yeah, I'm playing on PC. But yeah, loving it so far.
Bless, did you before I ask you this question, let me just give a shout out to the people. I see my name highlighted in orange. The best way to highlight your messages obviously is by adding me or hitting that super chat. All right, but shout out to Fado Mafishito. He says, that's what I did, Smooth. I did the last 2 levels on easy to finish it before AoE drop. Don't have the normal achievement, but I have the final boss one. See, understood. So and then he says and then Fado says, have you changed the interface from simple to advanced? Way more control over your villagers. I have not. I've stuck with the whatever they defaulted me at. But I do understand that there's more stuff you can do, and there is advanced controls. I just have not looked at it. It might even show up in this gameplay where it prompts you to open up the advanced controls. Garuda says, I respect that. It is always good for gamers to get out of their comfort zone and give other genres a chance. He must be talking about when I express my Age of Empires playthrough. So yeah, the goal is like, all right, if Age of Empires 2 is good, obviously I like it. I put my wife, the thing is that how I look at this game is like, maybe this is like the male version of The Sims, right? Because my wife plays The Sims, but the thing is, if my wife, but she plays The Sims on like computer, if she was to play Age of Empires, she might already be like more advanced obviously than I am. So she's probably already know how to play this game, and she likes like sim and builders, like pretty much civil family, like Sims. You could do like obviously in family building, house building, budgets, all this other stuff that you can do with it. And she has obviously a great deal of interest in like history and different civilizations and stuff like that. So I think this would be something she would actually be interested in. So this is like one thing as far as gaming we could probably have in common. But if this game turns out well, it bodes well for the Age of Empires 4 Xbox port that's coming later on this year. Bless, when we talked last week, because you joined the podcast late, did you play Hi-Fi Rush?
I have not, but I somehow forgot that I still have Game Pass. I don't know how I still have it, but I realized I had it and I downloaded it, and I'm gonna play it definitely. That game looks fucking. It looks sweet. People, all the hate that I've seen, people talking about, it's usually just people that's not
PlayStation,
playing
dude.
it's usually people not playing the game and just talking shit about it. But everyone that has actually played it has enjoyed it. So it's like literally your opinion of not playing it and talking shit is irrelevant. Like, cause like I
I
value
can take a
somebody's
guess.
yeah. I'd
Hold
value
on.
someone's opinion that played it, and if everyone loves it, then that shows something that there's value there for sure. No
Let me
matter
ask
if
y'all a
it's AAA
question.
or AA.
I ain't
Or
been
indie.
on Twitter in a while, but my guess is salty, and like I can guess who was talking bad about the game. Like, it's the same usual suspects. Like maybe it's J
Typically,
Dubs, Salties, yeah,
yeah, J-Dub.
the
Yeah,
YouTube thing.
Yeah,
yeah.
what happened was once they realized that the game wasn't trash and some of their favorite talking heads started supporting the
Hmm
game, what they did was they ran straight to the completion rate and said, "Oh my
It's 3
god,
hours.
this doesn't. Either it's too short or it doesn't deserve to be on Xbox because Xbox players aren't playing it."
Yeah, like
So that's
funny,
what it
bro.
translated to, is because of like I was like, okay, well, we can't say it's a bad game because they literally were just like jerking off to Sifu some months back. And they play
It's the
and they
greatest
typically
thing.
enjoy games either of that art style or that heavily Japanese action inspired and stuff like that. So it was like, okay, well, we really can't call the game whack because we typically push for these games and make fun of Xbox because they don't got any of these games. Now that Xbox got one of these games, it is one of the best rated games of the year. All right, we have to attack it from a different standpoint. Let's put it back on them like we know, like we're gonna go to the completion rates.
they're like, hold on. They're like, hold on, wait a minute, I got something. Let me think about it. Oh, it's short.
The other thing I wanted to reason
tank.
why I asked if you played it, Bless, because according to Digital Foundry and some other analytical people that reviews like games from a technical standpoint, it's one of those rare Unreal Engine 4 games that don't suffer from that frame stutter that occurs.
Yeah, shader stutter.
Shader stutter, yeah.
Yeah, they precompile that shit like everyone else should be doing, but people are stupid.
But yeah, that game has been make sure. Oh, I wanted to make sure I wasn't on mute. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought I was on mute, but it was just the YouTube screen telling me my YouTube playback is on mute. Good, which is fine. All right. But yeah, nah. It's just I know. The game just the game's been out for a couple weeks. It's still that shit. I'm hoping they do a lot with it. But let's get into some of the things that's happening, right? I don't know if you guys have been counting, but has there been like 5 games as a service games that just like shut down or announced that they're shutting down within the next few months?
Yeah, that shit's kind of weird. I don't know how the fuck all that happened all at the same time.
It was like once this is exactly what happened. All of them was thinking about it, but after the first 2 said, I was like, all right, well, maybe now is a nice time we could say something since this happened and this happened. Now I'm gonna announce mine so I don't get too much hate for it, right?
That's how it is.
That's exactly how I felt like it went. So we got Rumbleverse, which was a game that I thought had potential because Rumbleverse was like a wrestling battle royale.
Yeah.
But it launched literally several I feel like it launched like in that like last fall.
Maybe 7 months ago. Yeah, it wasn't that long.
And then you had what's the other game? Obviously Marvel's Avengers was like a couple weeks ago, but that sort of kicked it off. So yeah, Rumbleverse. What else was a game that I'm trying to think? Some of these games I just never bothered with. Oh man, obviously Crossfire X was the latest one, which the game shouldn't have came out, period. But
yeah, that game was just ass.
So they're canceling, but the thing is, they're shutting down both multiplayer and single player. So it's just like,
wait, how did they?
I don't know how you can really do that, but
how do you shut down the single player? What the fuck? Hey, yo, that's insane.
So with these latest shutdowns, what's that? Knockout City from EA. That's getting shut down too. Knockout City. That's the dodgeball game, which I thought was pretty fun.
I never personally played it, but it looked okay.
Yeah, when it first came out, I was on it for like a good 3 days. I'm not gonna lie.
Damn.
It was it Apex Legends mobile game is being canceled as well, or
Yeah, mobile.
So like with these these cancellations and these server shutdown to games that existed, and obviously people have these games are meant for people to pay into, buy battle passes and cosmetics. If this is what's scary about gaming, right? They found ways to monetize games, right? By making them service based, right? And it's showing that some of them, this model isn't working good enough for people to sustain it. Does the gaming industry pivot back to traditional games? And if so, like how do they what happens? How does gaming can it continue to be how can you monetize gaming outside the initial sell? At first, it started with you buy the game and then you had to buy the DLCs, the map packs, and with was it called season pass back then? I don't know if it was called a season pass.
Season pass, yeah.
Season pass. Where
you talking about like PS3?
Yeah, when you get all the DLCs and stuff like that. It used to be that way, but the problem with that, it would break up because not everybody would upgrade or buy the season pass. So like your player base for those expansions and for those map packs will get smaller. So they had to, and that's when they had to upgrade. Then you had like the booty boxes, what Bond calls them, but they were called loot boxes, right? That was one thing. You also have
microtransactions as well.
Yeah, microtransactions
during
time
the PS3
savers
that was
stuff like that.
Yeah, buying like reticles and shit in COD.
So what does the gaming industry? Because if the initial sell isn't it, obviously all these efforts to get gaming like digital to stop GameStop for raping the developers and stuff like that. What happens now before there's like a collapse?
Honestly, it honestly sucks, but I honestly think, I mean, if nothing else were to have been done, I think probably as season passes would have probably been the one thing that would have been sustainable. Just be sustainable. That and microtransactions. The reason being is map packs, extra guns and COD, people getting tangible things, extra content, and you know exactly what you're getting. Versus loot boxes, you don't know what you're getting. It's absolutely addicting, but of course that's literally gambling. And you can make legislation off of that because that's essentially gambling. But in terms of getting something that you will get, it is providing valuable content to the consumer, which is something I know I'm gonna get. I know this map looks good, this gun looks good. Oh, I want to get that gun. I have that gun in real life. I want it in this game. That is tangible content that I think would have, honestly, if nothing else changed, I think that would probably last the most amount of time in terms of like not failing. That and microtransactions of, I spend $2 to get this reticle or this skin. Oh, that's not much money. Boom. Like, oh, I know exactly what I'm getting. I'm purchasing a small add-on. That's all it is. It's just $2. Yeah, those two things I think are the things that would last the most time before the gaming collapse of some kind. But yeah.
What if games like, for example, this only works really for like multiplayer and battle royale like type games, right? It's like for example, obviously there's not a whole lot of like story-driven games, but what if we see something like this where games like, let's say a game like God of War, right, gets broken up, right? Was it a 40-hour game, right? And let's say they break that down to like 4 pretty much expansions, 10 hours each, but you have to pay for each each one, but maybe they do something with like I don't know, like I don't know how it's weird, babe. Maybe like you target the game, right? All right, the game is, and this is probably horrible advice, but the game is 8 to 10 hours, right? But your grand plan is like, a 40, 50 hour game, right? You sell the game as is, 60, 70 bucks, right? For that, 8 to 10 hour experience. And then I want to keep it fresh every 3 months, because the whole game is built. You deliver, the expansion that's the direct continuation of the story, right? For like, I don't know, for $10. Like I mean it's something I don't know how else for them to monetize off of gaming, right? If all these different attempts between selling the baseline game and then just selling whatever it's going to sell, to the games being free to play and you're just giving a baseline game and making them pay for everything else, or you put the game in a subscription service, or you make the game itself a subscription based game, right? Like there's so many things.
Yeah, that as well.
Yeah,
like Final Fantasy or MMOs.
Yeah, MMOs and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just sad to see, because I don't know how it's going to trickle down and how it's going to translate. If people start to see like, okay, all these games that Fortnite and PUBG like spawned, that really inspired all these other games, right? Like these lightning in the bottle games. It's crashing essentially, right? Because right now what these developers are doing, they're competing for our time. If the game is damn near free, right, then you're competing for our time. We have to now take the effort and play those games, and then we gotta decide if we like it more than the other games. And then if we like it more than the other games, we're going to determine like, all right, are we going to invest in it? Are we going to care about any of the other items you're selling, or any other characters that you're selling in this game, for me to continue to pretty much put money into it? And that's where it becomes really difficult. And I want to know how it's going to translate, how it's going to impact the games. Like, now what are developers doing? Are we still trying to target the games as a service? You know what I mean? Because you have to have really a sure thing, and which is kind of hard to predict. Or do you pivot back to regular games, but like the budget goes down? You know what I mean? Because I feel like the gaming budget is way too high right now. I don't know why video game budgets are as high as they are. And
production
and
marketing, man.
Which you really don't need when you consider everybody lives on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube.
Yeah, I agree completely. Like, I mean, even Sony's still doing it, where they're doing big billboards or fucking. I mean, it gets the casual audience. Well, the casual audience that's not on YouTube, but it's like, how many people are not on YouTube? Like, let's be honest now. Like, I don't know. You're getting other people for sure to look at it, but are those people even going to be interested enough to even purchase, though? That's the thing. Or watch a YouTube video on it. They just see something like the stuff what they did with like the big marketing with like the NBA commercials and like, I think like a majority of gamers watch YouTube. I would assume that. So if obviously I don't know the ins and outs in terms of how much ads cost, or how much you promote said ad, how much that will cost. But I mean, I think marketing with YouTube, social media, Twitch streamers, like, oh, they get exclusive access to a demo that they made for the game. Stuff like that. Like, that would present far cheaper marketing than what these people are typically doing. For example, like Sea of Thieves, like that game wouldn't have been marketed. It doesn't matter how much they would have marketed it. I don't think it would have captured the audience that it would have if Summit didn't stream it. Summit is the one that fucking made that game explode. Essentially, he is the reason that game is popular right now. And he is just a streamer. He streamed that game like 1 month straight. 1 month straight. And that caught so many eyes, and that gave that game so much attention. Just doing that. So it's just, when you look at things in perspective, it's just, I mean, you got to give these social media people a bag, bro. That's how you do it. They streamers, content creators, YouTube's algorithm, YouTubers, ads, Twitter ads. That's where it is, honestly.
Shout out to Sir Dre the Great, who just arrived in the building. Actually, this is a good question for you because it's hard being in the gaming like, I don't want to say industry, but like I know about gaming. I know what's coming out. I know what's not coming out. Whatever, right? So a reason why I'm asking you, Dre, not that you're not like in the know. You're in the know, but you're not on social media like that, right? So how do you, what marketing is capturing you? How do corporations or stuff entice you to buy their product nowadays?
Like in gaming, like in video games.
Well, gaming, you kind of have more so of a knowledge of what's coming and what's around, right? So you already know what you're interested in. So probably not that. I would say probably like something else that you wouldn't be aware of, but you, like I said, you bought into something. Like, so for example, I don't know what it is. I don't know how my wife knew about The Last of Us coming to HBO. I didn't tell her, right? But she the day that it was coming out, but she is an HBO subscriber, right? She watched other shit on HBO. So she was like, "Hey, this new zombie show is coming out. I think it's based off of a game, but it looks cool. I want to watch it." I was like, "You're talking about The Last of Us." I knew what it was because, like, just by the description she gave. But apparently, she's seen it enough to want to watch it.
Right? Yeah, I mean, you got word of mouth. You got websites that have advertisements. Like you can go on Google and they'll have advertisements for it. For anything. I know my wife is on TikTok, so she gets a lot of things from there. So, mainly just like even on YouTube, like the YouTube shorts and stuff. I mean, I see a lot of stuff on there. A lot of ads on YouTube. And especially like because like nowadays, if you click on, let's say anything, like your whole thing is like flooded with pretty much the same kind of like the same thing that you just clicked on. So
yeah, true.
Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff.
Dre,
but like,
go ahead, my bad.
But yeah, like for me, like just on the gaming tip though, even though I'm not on Twitter, I still go to the websites like MP First or a Gaming Boat or Push Square and stuff like that. So, I'll be on the websites.
To still get like your up to date gaming, like
right,
stuff like that. But I haven't talked to you in a little bit.
Yeah, what's up, y'all?
How you doing, man? What have you been playing? That's what I'm curious.
I just finished Dead Space.
I completely forgot. How the fuck did I forget about that? Holy shit!
I finished that. And then like at the start of the year, I completed The Witcher 3 again, and then I completed hold on, my fault. I got my list. I got to keep my list here. So I completed The Witcher 3, A Plague's Tale Requiem, which is a fantastic game. Fantastic
game.
The only thing that held that game back on console was the performance.
That's it. You play it. I mean, you play it on PC. That's not even an issue. That game was amazing.
True that. Yeah, great game. But I do like the story in the first one better.
Really?
Yeah, but I like how they. I mean, it's essentially the same game as the first one, but they added some new mechanics here and there. But dope game. Graphically looks freaking amazing. I didn't think it was going to look that good because I heard people say it looks great. I've seen YouTube videos that but like looking at it in person, the game looks very beautiful. And then I played The Last of Us Part 1 again, and then I just completed Dead Space. So
is The Last of Us Part 1 on sale? I might just wait till it comes to PC. It comes to PC. It comes on PC at the end of next month, right?
Yeah, March 20th.
Yeah, March. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you might as well just wait there, to be honest. And you can get it, get it probably on the Key site, and it's already cheap. So
I ain't gonna hold you though. Dead Space wasn't all that great to me.
oh no, we gotta have a conversation. I forgot that. Yeah, I beat Dead Space too.
I
Or-
give it about like I give it like a 7.5 to an 8 if I had to scale it.
Why? What happened?
Outrageous.
Wait. What did you give the Callisto? I'm curious.
I give the
good point.
before I give my answer to that, the Callisto is criminally underrated. I think that has gotten a bad rap for no reason. Well, not for no reason, but it's not as bad as people claim it to be. Nowhere near as bad as people claim it to be.
All right, I agree with that. But what do you rate it?
I think I gave it
like, hold on now.
I think I gave it a 7. I think I gave it a 7.
It's that close to Dead Space? Oh, this is this is outrageous.
Like, hold
all
on,
right, tell me why though.
Here's the thing though. The remake doesn't do anything that much different from the original, right? The way you kill enemies is the same way you kill enemies in the original. The way that the enemies dismember is the same way they dismember in the original. The physics of the enemies is the same how they were in the original.
Not actually, but give me a second. I gotta take a call.
Like the only thing that was in terms of enemies, the enemies do have that layer system where you got to break skin, break flesh, and then you break the bone. That's pretty much what's like the big thing that the enemies had going for it. But other than that, it's essentially the same game. Yes, they made it more I guess you call it cohesive to where you can go to each part of the map in one take or whatever, in one run or whatever you want to call it. But essentially it's the same game. Now I will say it is scary as shit. As one who doesn't like horror, there were some pretty good jump scares that got me. I think the contrast in that game is phenomenal. And what I mean by contrast, just the black levels in that game it really adds to the immersion and the atmosphere of the game. So the contrast was fantastic. Graphically, Callisto looks better. I think the telekinesis power you get, I think Callisto did it better. Of course, Dead Space has the better guns. But I mean, Dead Space has the better story, but it ain't like it's, winning any. I mean, maybe back then it won some awards, but it's not winning any awards, this go around. But
all right,
Dead Space is cool, man. It's not, it's that cult classic that, everybody loves, and I guess everybody is still supposed to love, today. But it's okay. It's an okay game. It's nothing, revolutionary or nothing like to and it for it to be next gen only. It's nothing to like it brings nothing next gen, to the table.
Oh,
same animations from 08 or whenever the original Dead Space came through. It was cool, man. It was cool.
I gotta talk. I'm back now. Nah, bro. Nah. That game holds up to this day as one of the best survival horror games.
Yes, I said that. I said that the contrast is great in that game. The atmosphere is great. The immersion is great. I mean, I agree with you.
I mean, the combat is definitely better than Callisto as well. Combat is definitely better.
But it's not
significant amount.
It's not like it's revamped from the original though. So it's like
no, it's not revamped, but it's still great combat. The ragdoll physics, the gunplay, the sound design, like the animation, it's still fantastic. It doesn't have to necessarily be revamped for the game still to be fantastic. It was a high bar then, it's still a high bar now. The only survival horror games that think even compete with Dead Space is Resident Evil 2 Remake. That's the only one that even competes. In my opinion, this Dead Space Remake is like a 9.5 to a 10.
Are you serious?
No.
Yes. Absolutely. What is a higher bar in terms of the survival horror? It is the top in its genre. Tell me.
I don't play survival horror, so I couldn't I couldn't go toe to toe with you on that. But just speaking on the game itself, it's not close to a perfect game. No, sorry.
It is. The things that they added on, by the way, the mechanics that they added on, how they essentially made. Oh, by the way, they made it to where it's seamless. The first game wasn't seamless in terms of that. Yes, the first game wasn't seamless. The second game was, but not the first. In terms of like camera, like it's no cut. And also how they added on mechanics with like, oh, you have to pick with the generator, or you pick, or if you want the lights on, if you want to turn off oxygen, or you want to have power up the doors. That's a great mechanic. Done that. It wasn't in the game originally. But we're talking about added benefits over the original game, and also where it stands in general as a survival horror game. We're not talking about as a game in general, or are we? Because we were just comparing it to Callisto.
I mean, just all aspects of it. It's just, I mean, it's a good game. It's nothing crazy though. You know what I mean? Like I said, I was telling Smooth, I do like the layer system that they put on the enemies. I do like that. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, they added the effect where if you do enough damage, you could just rip the limbs off of the necromorphs directly instead of having to shoot it off.
Yeah, but to kind of combat that, Dead Island 2 looks like it's going to have that and more. So,
Did you play Dead Island 1 or experience it?
Yeah, I played Dead Island. Yeah. It was
that game was mid. That game was mid. Yeah. It was super mid.
My favorite zombie game is Dying Light, the first one. So,
Dying Light is not as good as Dead Space either.
No, it's
all I'm saying. But
yeah, I like 2 on sale too.
Well, what I'm saying as like a survival horror game, it's not as good.
Yes, I agree with you on that. As far as the atmosphere of the game, it's fantastic. I'm not taking anything away from that. But as far as like rating the game in its totality, is I don't think it's. I mean, I gave it a 7.58, so it's close to a 10, but I don't think it's like a 9 or 9.5.
I think that in terms of in its totality, it's also a fantastic game. It's a great story with an interesting twist. If you never played it, it's a great story with an interesting twist. Voice acting is great. Sound design is amazing. Graphics are amazing, outstanding. Gameplay
could be better. Could be better for
graphics. I mean, console. Good luck. You guys have to deal with VRS. PC graphics are outstanding because they also have it to where your texture quality is also tied to your output resolution, and like performance mode is like 1080p. So your output resolution is relatively low. So texture quality is not that sharp on consoles in performance mode. On PC, I'm playing at 1440 native max settings with ray tracing. This game is fucking beautiful, and it runs beautifully.
Slow man, hold up, man. They're not about to keep this in consoles, man. Like,
I'm saying
no slouch on console either. It's a good looking game on console.
I'm not saying it's ugly, but it looks outstanding on PC. The problem is they actually tied the texture. There's no texture resolution option. There's no texture setting on PC either. It's tied to your output resolution. So if you're running at 1080p, the textures will look blurry versus playing at 1440p or 4K. The higher the resolution, the higher the texture quality. There's no setting for it. That's what I'm saying. So when you're playing on Dead Space on performance mode on console, it will look blurrier, not just because of the text, or not just because of the resolution, but also because of the texture quality, because it's tied to it for whatever reason. They tied it to it. But yeah, so yeah, just in general, it's outstanding in terms of graphics, as a great story, outstanding like class leading sound design. Gameplay is great. The interconnectedness of the actual Ishimura, the way that they handled like they actually there's some what do you call it? There's some differences in terms of actual the enemy design as well, or like what the enemies do. Like there was never a spitter in like the Dead Space 1. Like that the necromorphs that spits, there was never a spitter. And also there are differences in terms of the actual like the limb like the limbs and like what the actual creatures do. So for example, and also, well, let me get to that first. So for example, like the one that the necromorph that takes up others' bodies, they didn't originally used to like limp like that before. If you were to shoot off their arm, they would. Now they're like literally like limping towards you. That wasn't a feature where you could do that before prior with the ones that take up the zombies or make zombies and shit like that, or make the necromorphs. They weren't doing that before. Also the what do you call? I don't know what it's called. It's the something system, where essentially previously on Dead Space, when you would clear out an area, there would be like basically no new actual necromorphs being created. Now they created a system where essentially, depending on how good you're doing in the game, they will dynamically spawn and do stuff with the lights, with doors. I've seen doors where they just open like rapidly, like it fucking made me jump. I was like, what the fuck? Like they'll make doors open rapidly instead of like the typical slow opening door. Um, they'll do things where they'll have like fans spin crazily and explode. They'll have necromorphs more put thoroughly wear out. No matter how many times you go through an area, there's always this fucking fear that you will fight a necromorph. There's always this fear because they added in that specific mechanic. All in all, that game is fucking fantastic. In terms of it's genre leading in terms of being a survival horror, and it's a great game no matter what. So that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, it stands toe to toe with Resident Evil 2 remake as a remake and as a final product as a game in general. That game, Resident Evil 2 remake, is also like a 9.5 to a 10. So it's basically neck and neck with that game. That's just my opinion. Callisto is more like maybe like a solid 7.
I think Callisto is like a freaking 8.5, 9. I think it's pretty damn good. But
I thought it was a good game too.
Yeah, like
Yes.
like I said, that's the only one of the only recent games that I've played through like twice back to back. So,
I mean, 7 is good. It's above average.
yeah, but I don't know. I still don't understand the hate for the game. Like I said, I understand at launch early, there was some legit, issues. I feel like they were fast to respond to them, but overall, I felt the game did a lot of unique things. And I welcome, the challenge. I thought like the only thing I was concerned about going into the game was like the combat. I don't know about dodging with the, the analog stick, but hey, it worked out. The game had its own thing that made it like work. You know what I mean? And graphically, you know what I mean? Not too many games is really fucking with it. So,
oh yeah, I do think Callisto is a better looking game than Dead Space, at least on PC. I don't know how that, but at least on PC, I do think Callisto is a better looking game. But Dead Space is really close. I think they're very good in like different aspects. But overall, I think Callisto beats it.
Okay. Shout out to JD. He says happy Saturday. I see a few people in the chat. AM, Jet Fan, Rob Gaming TV. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Let's talk about the coalition. There was another fake outrage attempt against Xbox. So Jeff Grubb, I think, said in a podcast that the coalition canceled 2 projects that they were working on, and they're focusing now on Gears 6, all in on Gears 6 for over the past year. a lot of people immediately took this as Microsoft canceling games, not letting developers have creative freedom. Now I'm gonna give you guys some sort of a background with the coalition. So the coalition and Playground Games, just to give you a heads up, has been the ones carried the Xbox One up until the Series X generation with their output and production. The coalition also had to step in to help Halo Infinite. Coalition also had to step in to help the initiative with Perfect Dark. And the coalition also assisted Epic with Unreal Engine 5 and as far as with the Enter the Matrix demo. After doing their next generation updates for Gears 5, Coalition announced that they're going to be messing around, pretty much doing projects for Unreal Engine 5 before they go into the next Gears game, which has been true. And we got to see the experience. We saw their tech demo for Lumens, and we saw their Enter the Matrix demo, which they had a hand in, and which they delivered that on, I think, with console and PC, Enter the Matrix demo. So they've done that. Now, they wanted to pretty much, the whole purpose of them and Epic and Coalition, whatever, throughout the history of Gears, they would do this, like, they would do the new Unreal Engine, they would do a couple projects, whatever, and then they'll pretty much get all the features into that, from that engine into the next Gears game. And that's how it's been. Like, literally, the Gears games used to be the entry level for each Unreal Engine. I think Gears 2 was like a highlight of Unreal Engine 2, and I think Gears 3 kickstarted Unreal Engine 3. And Unreal Engine 4 has been out for a while. I think Gears 4 came out in it's the middle of that cycle, and Gears 5 was also Unreal Engine 4. So with this case, it's like, okay, they're gonna do things until they feel like they've perfected Unreal Engine 5. Now, they never said they were going to release a game. They've never said they were going to release a game. They've never announced a game. They just said they're just going to work on projects with it until before they go full-fledged into Gears 5. And you could say they've committed to those. Now, the projects that they've canceled were probably projects that they were working on and then realized they didn't need to really do anything with because they were just small projects, tech demos, pretty much things testing that what they're going to put into the next Gears game. Now, with that being said, obviously Microsoft had the layoffs and stuff and whatnot, and a couple small teams working on here and there. Now, at that point, after the layoffs, that obviously could have impacted that, where they said, all right, it's not really worth it to even put these projects out. We kind of know what we're doing here. We can just now put the rest of the team onto Gear 6. And that's just me guessing. But the thing is that I don't want people to start treating these cancellations as the cancellations we got with Fable Legends and Scalebound, where there was actually a demonstration and projected dates and showing off projects that they were intended to sell that got canceled, right? We don't know what Coalition canceled. We don't know the IP. Don't know if it had a name. No, we don't know nothing. It was an internal project. So it was just that was like the sort of thing that I wanted to kill about that conversation, because it's like Microsoft canceling games. No, we don't even know if Microsoft canceled the game. For me, it sounds like Coalition probably canceled. People forget how much clout Coalition has. Coalition, Playground, and Turn 10, and I don't know about Halo anymore. But
the only decent studios.
Those are the only studios that have like sort of like push of like the kind of where you don't really need to bother because they have so much clout. The Coalition has like the respect of Epic. As far as they're the studio, the team that has pretty much utilizes the Unreal Engine better than like anyone outside of Epic. So they have and pretty much they're the studio that every other studio that Microsoft has to call on to when they need assistance with Unreal Engine. So they have the clout. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? If Tango could release Hi-Fi Rush, which is a great game, and if Ninja Theory could release freaking Bleeding Edge, Coalition could release whatever the fuck they want. I'm telling you that right now. Turn 10 and Coalition literally have say in what goes into the next generation consoles when they're building them. So please, I just wanted to kill that narrative that Microsoft is just canceling games. And and the fact that we're tweeting about a project that's never been announced. We don't know what it was. It was just an internal project that they canceled. So I just want to know you guys' thoughts. I don't know if Sir Dre the Great, if you saw this pop up on any of the websites that you read over the past week or so.
Oh no, I didn't. But let me ask you though, like, so I got two questions for you. Do you think that the coalition should like make Gear 6 and then work on something else, like wrap up Gears? Do you think it's time for Gears to wrap up?
I think
for them
absolutely. I think Gears should have been wrapped up. I think Gears was okay ending at ending at 3. Yeah, so I think the reason I was excited for Gears 4 is because it was like, oh wow, we're gonna get a Gears of War this generation, and it was one of the best games during the Xbox 360. So I wanted to play another Gears of War game. So that's when they came back with Gears 4, there was like some hype there. I don't think Gears 4 hit the way it needed to hit, because it wasn't better than any of the first 3. It was better than Judgment, but that's not saying much. In Gears 5, I felt like it made necessary changes to make it feel like something fresh. Like I still enjoyed Gears 5, but it's like, from a story base, 4 and 5 isn't really needed. I still think they could explore the Gears of War universe, which is fine. But I would like to see Coalition make something else, because they're highly capable. They're highly capable of making anything else they want. But I think Gears of War could have definitely used a break, and the Coalition could have made like a completely different game.
Well, yeah, and that was gonna go to my other question for you. Like, it kind of seems like, I mean, and I've been kind of thinking this for a minute now. Like, it's just like devs are kind of, I don't know, like kind of nervous to, try something new, and so they always go back to what they know, what works.
Mhm.
It's kind of like the AAA. It's like the AAA genre in general is like not. It's like too scared to take risk on different kind of games, different
Mhm.
type of games.
Yeah.
So maybe that was what the coalition was working on. Whether it was them or whoever, they saw what they was working on was like, this ain't it. So just go back to what and which is Gears, and it'll be Gears 6 for the next one. So I don't know. Maybe it was like,
Yeah, believe it or
maybe
not, I don't think people and we'll find this out sooner or later. I'll start getting back into developer interviews and bringing them on. But from what I know, a lot of these internal projects and stuff doesn't even have to even sometimes don't even make it to the board to be like presented to Xbox. So like, hey, can we go ahead and make this? Some of that they have to get through that. They have to get to the head of their studio itself to be like, because you'll have a bunch of teams within a studio, right, working on a game. Like, for example, that's how Hi-Fi Rush came to light, right? It like that was something that Tango, and after they were working on Evil Within and Ghostwire, it was like, okay, we can move forward with this, right? And then they, presented it to Bethesda and whatnot, and they got the, green light, but they have to get through the studio internally, before it could even make it there. But the thing is, I feel like when you consider what's going on with Xbox, and they needing content for like Game Pass, I don't want to say like make it sound bad, but I feel like they'll prove anything at this point from any of their studios when you consider a game like Bleeding Edge did release. You know what I mean? So it's like why say yeah to Ninja Theory's Bleeding Edge, but say no to anything the Coalition could potentially come up with, and they're like literally the master class of the Unreal Engine. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense, right? So I think out of respect, like they probably wouldn't even have to. It would just the only thing they'll pretty much get to do is like, here, let Phil Spencer give this a try, and he'll be like, yeah, a green light. You know what I mean? I don't think they have to go through that level of like scrutiny where their game's just going to get canceled off the bat. Literally, Microsoft poured money into like Scalebound and let that get shown, demonstrated, advertised, before that game got canceled. I'm pretty sure the Coalition, anything the Coalition do, whether it's a tech demo, it's probably would be more showable, more playable, more enjoyable than what they've truly felt about like a game like Scalebound and Bleeding Edge, and that's not me down those games because those are like I was looking forward to Scalebound, and I actually enjoyed Bleeding Edge for what it was. But I highly doubt that Microsoft canceled anything the coalition put on the table. It just doesn't seem likely. And even though you hear about like studios like having like, let's say trouble, let's say Playground, if it's true, Playground having trouble like, you know, putting Fable together. Let's say the Initiative is having trouble putting Perfect Dark together. Those games aren't getting canceled. For some reason, they got the respect to the point where it's like, all right, you know, just take the time. You know what I mean? Whatever you need to get those done. I don't think those games are getting canceled by any means. And I truly think what Coalition, whatever they was working on, it was like these were just projects. Remember when Unreal Engine 5 like came out and Microsoft was acquiring all these studios, and you'll have some of these dudes like just show off regular like just gameplay for something they just literally built, like, and it would just be random like clips of just like random games, but it wouldn't be an actual game that they announced. It would just be like things that they just built because they're messing with the engine. Yeah. So I feel like it was something like they probably had something where like, you know, we could take this somewhere, or we could just, you know, finish up Gears. And what people forget, Gears 5 ended on the most ridiculous cliffhanger. I mean, I don't know how long you can put that game on ice. Like, I don't know how long that game can remain on ice.
They need to finish it, but I also wanted to see them do something new. So it's like, honestly, that story, I feel like that story is gonna end terribly because it's like, I don't know. Gears 4 was like, the story's okay, still a cliffhanger, but all right, I could deal with it. 5 is like, what the fuck was this? Gears 6, I can't see that them somehow fixing that shit. I feel like that shit's
it's not broken. You have to continue with what you got. I feel like what they got, they can still get a story out of what they got. It makes sense. What you got, fucking Kate's mom is clearly the new Locust Queen. Sorry for the spoiler, but like, damn, it's been nearly 5 years, right? She's the new Locust Queen. She murdered whoever you decided to get killed, whether that be Marcus's son or JD. I still don't know how they're gonna play that out, but they have to do something about that. Whether it be based off save, they have to do something about that, because why else would you put that in a game? You know what I mean? Like, so I feel like, and there's a chance they could do it right. Maybe some of us is gonna be playing a game without freaking Marcus Phoenix. Maybe some of us is gonna be playing a game without not Marcus Phoenix, JD, without the other dude, old boy with the junior locks. What's this dude name? What's the black dude in the game? Some of us will be playing without him. Some of us will be playing without JD. Or maybe there's it's not they're not on planet Earth, right? Maybe one of them have to get turned into like one of those cog robots, like half cog robot, half freaking human to keep them alive. That's how, I mean, or they got to be like half locust to remain alive. Shit like that has happened in the universe. So like there's ways they could take it. So I don't think they're too far in a trash. I don't think they're in a trash can yet with the decisions they made to do with the end of Gears 5. I feel like there's opportunity there, and it could turn out to be something special. But Gears historically, all 5 games, mainline games, I'm not really counting Judgment, all 5 mainline games all ended in some sort of like cliffhanger. I don't know if Gears 3 ended in any sort of cliffhanger. I'm not sure. I don't recall, but I know 1, 2 were just definite cliffhangers, and then 4 and 5 all cliffhangers where it's like, okay, there's some continuation here. But who we got here? Who we just joined? Sad Boy, you there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Like, what's up, yo? Like, my bad. Like, I didn't, like you said, fuck it. Like, I didn't get like a time. So what's up, y'all? What's up, Dre? What's up?
Oh, what up?
What's up? I guess Nick is here. I don't know. Like, but yeah, what was the topic? It was on the Gears situation.
Gears 5,
yeah, Gears situation. So I'll just keep it short. Like, I am disappointed about the 2 unnamed IPs being fucking scrapped. So it's just like, because like I said from the last episode, it's just like to deviate from that, from the narrative of it just being Forza, Gears, and Halo, something's gonna have to to shift to where like their focus or like the narrative, like everyone's perspective on that is going to have to change. So I feel like, example, like if Starfield comes out and that shit really do blow up and take off, they're gonna probably put Master Chief to the back a little bit and have Starfield be that spot. So it's like they need to really, like, I think they should have just let them rock. Like let them rock, like see how, like you said, like they are like the masters, like the creators of that Unreal shit. Let them niggas rock. Like that makes no sense that you gonna come in and be like, you gonna, we've been hearing about them work on something new and fresh and unnamed this whole fucking time. Then you come
For
through
years.
like y'all come through, get on Gear 6. Why the fuck would I do that? Like it's just like we got a whole brand new engine we working with that everybody's so hype about. The only game we really seen like showcase that engine a tad bit is like Fortnite. And that ain't no like, I mean, yeah, Fortnite with the new shit looks amazing, but it's just like it would have been nothing compared to whatever they possibly would have been cooking for real. Like I'm just saying, like it's just like we've seen what they did with Gears 5. That game looked amazing. We've seen Gears 4. Like I would have just let them come up with something new, something fresh. Like I think this is where Hi-Fi Rush really took off because it was something new. Like it was something fresh, and it did really well. So it's just like, didn't nobody expect fucking Tango to put that out anyway. But it's just like,
No.
I think everybody is this on. This is what's tried and true. Like this is what we know of Xbox. So this is what we gonna keep holding them to because they really haven't. A lot of the things that Xbox has done new has not been supported. That should be on that initial showcase. So like they lost the rights to Overdrive and shit like that. So it's just like, and Rise is, who knows where the fuck that's gonna come from, but that ain't even theirs for real. Because that's still Crytek. So it's just like it would have been better for them just to let them rock and then have Gears come out a little bit later to where that shit is like it's a back memory for real in people's minds. So they're not really thinking about it. So by the time they show Gears 6, you could shadow drop that. Like, don't nobody know when the fuck Gear 6 gonna come out? Boom, shadow drop. And then niggas is looking stupid, like they shocked. Like they just like, oh damn, I wasn't expecting them to do this. Like to give some of these IPs a little bit of space. Where it's just like Forza, we already know about Forza. Like shit, cause we know Forza so goddamn well that we know exactly when they gonna like drop them. Like be like, oh yeah, they about to drop Forza Motorsport here. Oh yeah, Horizon's up next. It's gonna drop here, and it's just like give some space between them. Like let them joints breathe. Like let them rest, and then let the newcomers come out. Let them showcase. Let that build up, and then have people think, oh damn, yeah, Xbox like they got some other shit in their bag besides Halo, Gears, and Forza. Like it just keeps going right back to this narrative. And I know that Xbox gamers or just gamers in general are tired of fucking hearing it, but it's just like, yeah, like it's almost the way kind of like people look at Sony. Like they think that fucking every game is just gonna be The Last of Us, fucking what's that junk? Shit.
Third person over the shoulder.
Yeah,
do
Last of Us,
something different.
the God of War, Uncharted. But
Right,
you
right.
see that they put like space between them to where a couple other titles land in between them. So like, and I mean, they let them drinks rock. Like if they good, they take off. Ghost of Tsushima luckily took off. Horizon took off for the people who like that shit. It took off. So it's like people can't say that like Sony just does those three titles. Other titles have come out before those, after those titles, for real. So
Sad and Smooth, since y'all play Xbox, do y'all think that Microsoft? So seeing that the Hi-Fi Rush was a success, and it was definitely dropped. Do y'all think that Microsoft should or Xbox should ride that wave and have their new mantra be stealth drops? On the smaller titles.
no shadow drops.
Shadow. I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm sorry. Yeah, Shadow Drop. My fault. Yeah.
Same.
I mean,
and I know every game isn't going to be a hi-fi rush. Like every game
Yeah.
isn't going to hit. So, but do you think that they should, ride that wave and start shadow dropping some of the smaller games like a hi-fi?
I think so. I don't think I'm not advocating that they should always do it like a shadow drop. But when you have games that you're unso sure about, right, and you don't really have a marketing budget for it, why not? I mean, because those are the games where you the thing that worked for Hi-Fi Rush, right? Now, the thing about Hi-Fi Rush, it's a very polished game. It's a full-fledged game. It's there's no bugs. It just turned out to be like bigger than what we even expected. Because even when it was rumored, we kept thinking like, oh, small type game, you know what I mean, Pentiment, da da da. We were thinking like, all right, you know what I mean, this is gonna be like just something like little, but it was bigger and than I expected to be in every way. There's a lot put into this, so I was like, I feel like they can do this with these games, and what it does is it takes away the opportunity from media and fanboys, right, to over scrutinize the game while we wait for it to come, so that because what happens is when a game is announced, right, and you're looking at it, you're building anticipation, and then we gotta wait for it to come. So now your expectations are either set, and it's up to the game to meet, exceed, or fail to meet those expectations, right? But in the meantime, we're already drawing up an opinion, of what it could be, what it's not, and whatnot, and then it releases, and then at that point, you've played the game, and you're like, okay, well, this game is a 8 or 7, you know what I mean? And you're doing that based off, whatever you thought it was going to be versus what you got. The thing is that we all had to attack the game at the same time, gamers and media alike. So there was really no room for no leaks. There was no room for like really nothing. You either liked the game or you did it.
Right.
It was not even an opportunity to get influenced by anybody else. Like other journalists couldn't. There was no review period because they ain't like they had the game access early to the game, right? So it was literally like, okay, this have to be like the most honest review because it's not like you have any benefit. You're not telling anybody nothing. We're all playing it at the same time. Like me, you, the journalist, everybody's playing the game at the same time, right? There's not going to be like, oh, within 24 hours, literally, you had to beat the game you had to finish the game, right, to get the review out. So that the review wasn't going to be available day one. It was going to be available when you finish the game. And
right.
I think it's good for stuff like that because I think with Hi-Fi Rush, we get more of an honest review from almost everyone because there's no room for influence.
Right.
Like, there's no narrative to build. You either like you saw it and it's now, all right, after the showcase, go ahead and play it. And you go from there, right? It's hard to say. I don't know if I want them to continue to do it, but I'm just saying, I'm looking at other people. If you're releasing games, right, you don't have much of a marketing budget for it. Now, just to give you a heads up, guys, games drop all the time. But they drop with no announcement. They just show up in the store, right? And they're a smaller team and stuff like that. So sure, it doesn't work like that with shadow drops. But like, if you are an EA or Activision, whatever, Ubisoft, anybody that but it's not like, let's say, your biggest game, right? But you have you have an obligation to publish it, right? That's how I would do it. You know what I mean? Any game that has no marketing like budget, real marketing budget, like I said, you had a showcase. That was all the marketing it got, essentially, and then everything else is going to be word of mouth and Twitch. So I think they continue to do stuff like that, but I think for like smaller titles, I wouldn't see why it would hurt. I think a game like Bleeding Edge should have been a shadow drop. It should it would have been nice. I mean, Halo, but people forget Halo Infinite multiplayer was a shadow drop on the anniversary. It worked out at that time. You know what I mean? In hindsight, it worked out, but like obviously it had to maintain its content and seasons and stuff like that. But for that point in time, everybody was excited. That's when they got its peak numbers and people got their immediate opinion. There was no issue with the game. The issue was with the game is that now after the full game launch and all this other stuff, the seasons and the delays and stuff like that, that's where it became a problem. But when it launched, the day it launched, and it took some of that momentum from Forza Horizon 5, You know what I mean? People were excited. That was a shadow drop. It was like, yo, they just shadow dropped Halo Infinite's multiplayer. But they also broke a promise that they said they did wasn't going to do, and that's when they said would they launch the campaign and multiplayer separately. They said they wouldn't do that, but they kind of hid it behind a beta. But it was still an exciting time. But
Right.
Yeah.
The to answer Dre, it's, I would say giving the bigger titles, like I kind of stated earlier, given the bigger titles, if they gave them a little bit of like reprieve, like give them some rest, then you let people's ideas and thoughts about them just kind of like fade away, or just wonder, like, so they're just, oh, I forgot that this game was going to come out, like let's say the next Halo or some shit. Give that shit some time. Give it some time to breathe. Let all these IPs that you have accumulated over acquisitions and all of this shit, let them show their hand. The best thing about Hi-Fi Rush was the shadow drop, in that it was kind of like a little smaller project, the passion project. So like Smooth said, it came out, everybody got their hands on it. So that's how you seeing people's reviews come out even today. I think IGN's came out today or something, and they gave it a 9. So like that narrative of, oh, like these games are gonna be coming out and they're gonna be half-assed, they're gonna have Xbox stench on them and all of this bullshit, that's out the window. So the game drop, you get it in your hands, you play it, people get it the same day as everybody else. So their review is going to somewhat reflect what the people are experiencing. In the game, it didn't come out broken, shit, it didn't come out fucked up, glitched up, but none of that. This was like one of the games that just came out straight good. No day one patches, none of that bullshit. Not a Callisto situation, you feel me? So it's just like the joint just came out, everybody loving it, they fucking with it, like it's playing straight. So nobody had no points to take away for real, shit, unless it's just something that you don't vibe with personally, aesthetically, like, but video game play wise, like everybody's been loving it. So I wouldn't mind for shadow drops to hit even some bigger titles, because those bigger titles are going to make like gargantuan waves. So you think about Hi-Fi Rush, it made this big enough wave. It got this much of this positive reception. Let's say that you give some of these other titles a little bit more time, a little bit more space out of people's mind. Like I said, out of sight, out of mind. Gear 6, let their drink cook somewhere. So by the time that thing come out, everybody playing it, like you shadow drop it or whatever, like that like, look, I'm gonna say shadow dropping that shit is smart. It is smart. Cause you letting it land where it land. No preconceived nothing. You letting it land where it land. So it is like it come out and make them big ass waves, them tidal waves, and people like, damn, like Gear 6 coming out, drink looking like this, playing like this is different. Shit is hitting on all points and everything. And no day one packs, none of that bullshit. I swear, like that narrative of just like Xbox stenches is going to just dwindle itself away. Like, so I feel like shadow drops is not a bad idea. Like, I like it.
Let me ask y'all, do y'all think that's an unfair advantage though? Because like, what if they shadow drop a game and it sucks, but then the narrative would change to, well, it doesn't matter because it's in Game Pass.
That narrative exists no matter what the fuck they do, bro. That doesn't matter. That narrative will always exist, bro.
Right. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, but good.
There's nothing that will change about that narrative. That shit will always exist.
I could tell you the dudes that the first ones that's gonna say it, bro. Like, and that was
Starfield could,
amazing.
yeah. Starfield could come out a steaming pile of hot garbage. It's in Game Pass though. I didn't have to pay for it, so I'm enjoying it.
Well, they use that as a defense tactic. Like, it's just like that shouldn't be an excuse. Like, I mean, for them to just drop bad shit. It's just like, oh, we have Game Pass. We're just worried about subscribers. Here, like,
but
just
that's a weird narrative, though, bro.
Yeah,
that's a weird narrative, though. Like, what about the $70 game thing? You know what I mean? Like, You got games like Forspoken and all these games. Like they're not really. How many games actually was worth the $70? Like, I'm not saying I feel that way. I'm just saying. But what I'm saying is that what these narratives people be saying is just stupid, bro. Like developers really going out there to make bad games just to put it in Game Pass, making anything just to sell for $70.
It's not necessarily that stupid, they're making bad games to put in Game Pass on purpose. Right, it's the fact that the game itself turns out to be garbage, and the immediate fucking Twitch reaction is, "Oh, but it's in Game Pass, so it doesn't matter." Right. That's the problem. That's the problem. Not that the devs are intentively making a bad game. I don't think any dev. That's their job, bro. Why would you intentionally just do a shit job?
Yeah, some media people say it. Some media people say it, and also some Xbox defenders say it. And it's just like that's adding fuel to the fire. Like if it's a bad game, it shouldn't be excused just because it drops in Game Pass and you didn't have to drop the bread on it. Like don't do that. Like you need to hold them to that flop, like to that failure. Like if you're putting this bitch in here, like take this motherfucker out as trash. Like,
so what was the reason why they put Destruction All Stars in PS Plus and didn't sell it for $70 as?
Oh no, but you know that.
So you basically saying that's the same thing?
Yeah, like before that came out, right? Before the Destruction All shit came out, it was like the drink was going to be $70 if I recall.
Yeah,
right.
It was.
Yeah. So that's what y'all saying basically. Because I'm just trying to understand.
Yeah, like people saw that game and then it was like, you ain't about to fuck with this shit. So they like
that shit was a
so
scam.
they threw it in PSN, so whatever PS Plus, whatever the fuck it's called. And
let me ask y'all something. Like, do y'all think devs like know when their game like do y'all think devs like, man, this game is fucking garbage?
I think they do.
I don't know.
Hold on. Yeah. I think it's just the reception that they're getting. Like, that these devs watch these media
they can't
websites, comment sections, all of that. Like, they look at this stuff. Like, they have analytics for this stuff.
What I mean is like when they're making the game,
when they're playing it, when they're making
not when they're making it. It's like when a game is wrapping up and where there's no point of return. Where there's like, okay, this type trash. So let's give it. So they pull.
What about the Q&A guys though?
Oh, the
Q&A guys probably like
the Q&A guys tell them it's probably trash. But at that point, it's like, what can they do about it? It's like, all right, well, we either could delay it to make it better, or like, all right, well, we kind of have. All right, we're going to reduce the budget from there on. All right, we're either going to give it to everybody to review, or we're going to give it to nobody to review, or we're going to give it to the review on release day, or we're going to push the embargo date to the day of release or the day before so that, by the time you buy the game, the reviews are finally coming out rather than before the game is coming out. Right, so there's different things people do to sort of like try to you could tell that the game's going to be trash. Like there's like early damage control, and when they start having to answer questions that they really don't want to answer, like the Gotham Knight situation, it was like
man. Crazy.
Like we know this is going to be a problem. So for the entire time of this game, we're not going to talk about the specs at all. Like we're not going to talk about the performance. Right?
Exactly.
It was never highlighted.
No. Hush.
They never highlighted it. Usually when games are happy with like something, they have some sort of selling point. Well, we get to highlight that we got 4K. We get to highlight that we're running at 60 frames, or we get to highlight that we got like ray tracing. They'll make sure to hit its marketing beat, right? Gotham Knight did none of that point. Like they were just going off the strength of it being a DC title, and we haven't played as these characters, right? But when it came to that, it's like, we're at 4K. We're gonna leave with 4K. That's we're entering uncharted territories with our our multiplayer, our untethered multiplayer. So but yeah, like I think a lot of games know when they done fell on some trash. Like game, what else game had freaking came out that was supposed to be like that was supposed to hit like, but it really didn't. Oh man. Like I think Harry Potter, right? Like they've been smartly quiet. Right? Because if you think about all the noise coming from Harry Potter has been from those freaking protesters, right? And everybody, and then everybody protesting the protesters.
Describe's quiet.
Yeah, because Harry Potter has a lot of gameplay out.
They got
Like,
Yeah, I was
gameplay,
saying, like, that-
but it's
yeah.
show and tell. It's not like, you know what I mean? It's like, all right, here we are. You know, this is the game. You know what I mean? They've been showing everything, right? But the thing is that I feel like there's a chance, right? The game could come out and be actually mid.
Yeah,
right?
that's a possibility.
But you got to think about it. I think the hype generated for the game is not really due to them. Like they have natural hype. It's Harry Potter. It's a RPG, and then they have PlayStation backing it. Remember, the State of Play was the first time we seen it all. So there was that's where the abundance of the hype came. And then you got the protesters because of J.K. Rowling. And then anytime you get protesters, you're gonna get anti-protesters. So so now this game has all this hype that's really not really predicated to the game itself.
It's the controversy.
It's the controversy around it. So the game really don't even have to hit.
I don't know though. I don't agree with that.
No, it does. It does.
I mean, I don't agree with
I mean,
that
in terms of sales,
but I think it will. I think it will sell. I think it'll
like,
sell well. But I think as an actual game, it may not be that great.
But I think the gameplay is
amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm saying I think the gameplay is selling the game though, because the gameplay it's
speaking for itself, bro.
And there's a lot of gameplay out there, and it looks really good. Like it looks like what fans want from a Harry Potter game, dog.
Yeah,
like,
graphically it looks next gen.
really
It looks
good.
amazing. Gameplay looks good. The options, the houses, like the animation quality looks insane. It looks like a Harry Potter film. The animation quality is insane. It's like Uncharted. It's on like a Naughty Dog level animation. Like it looks like the Wizarding World of fucking Harry Potter. So I wouldn't go that far, but no, it does. Have you, bro? Like look at the animation quality of like the multiple things. The robes, the fucking.
Well, have you seen the facial animations for Hogwarts? It's not that good.
I'm not talking about facial animation. I'm talking about just animation in general of around the world. It looks fucking incredible. They're like material use and the animation of the like robes and cloth, and that shit looks insane. So yeah.
Hey, carry on, guys. My bad.
Oh, good. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guess some people will be upset since this is a fucking Planet Xbox fucking podcast, but like, I mean, I've been playing more fucking PlayStation than anything at the moment, so it's just been
What you been playing?
My bad, guys.
Well, it's just been the Last of Us titles. I wanted to play through those. With the show hype, I obviously bought the remastered. So, but I just wanted to go through those again. So I've been playing fucking what's that other genre that I got going there? Should I played Stray? I wanted to see what all the hype about that was about. I still don't think it should have gotten any awards, but it is a fun game. It's a good game. But I've been playing mostly.
Animation is really good too.
Yeah, no, that shit was dope. But just the regular shit. Like I plan on I got the little PS Plus things. So I'm playing the Spider-Man games. I'm just playing all the flagship shit. So I'm gonna get into the Horizons, see what that's about, because I never played the shit. So I hated everybody say Aloy is boring and all this other shit. So I'm gonna do my due diligence and I'm gonna see what's up with it. But I've been having a blast on that bitch. I ain't even going cap like that the UI, all of that, like the times that we say, yeah, like that shit don't matter. Fuck out of here. Like, nah, like I mean that drink is clean, smooth. Like I was like, hey, yo, this motherfucker looking crazy right now. Like I was like, I mean, the only downfall is that you don't get to put like custom drinks up, but it's just like, I mean, I don't know, maybe they working on something for that, but it's like I'm fucking with it. Like I fuck with the DualSense. Like the drink is retarded. Like it's crazy. Like I was like, okay, like it's like I was like, they got something over here. So I'm playing a lot of that shit. I just been just trying to catch up. So playing through The Last of Us 2 at the moment, like I'm going through busting niggas' head with Abby, you feel me? I know niggas mad, but it is what it is. Like she gonna handle her business. So I mean, I've been having a lot of fun with that shit, and I've been playing Dead Space remake for real. That drink is oh my god, like that's a chef's kiss to a remake for me. Like I'm just saying, like that's a chef's kiss.
Especially as a remake as well. It's like it's so well done. That is what a remake should do.
Exactly, bro.
It doesn't take literally anything away from the original project. It enhances everything about it.
Exactly. It enhances and it expands on like what's already there to build a even better experience. So then if they do go back to 2 and they redo 3 entirely and they said they had ideas for a 4, I'm all for it, my dog.
Yeah,
like go ahead and do that shit because I'm ready to play them all again. Like so I'm loving Dead Space. Like I got some other titles that I wanna buy. I wanna get that Age. That like I hear a lot of good shit about that Age though, besides the battery. But I don't give a fuck. I play close to my system anyway. So that's just been my shit lately. So I'm waiting on Resident Evil 4 and all of them drinks. I may get Forspoken later on. Like it'll be like way later on because that bitch landed in the bin for me. So it's like what I've seen. I see motherfuckers loving it. Like they loving it. They died and ooze and all this shit. But it's just like that's more centric PlayStation people. So it's like I don't know if I could really trust your judgment on this. Like so it's just like I just need somebody to be honest with me. And I mean I've seen there's some honest kind of like objective takes where it's just like the gameplay part about it, people love it. Like they like the drink is good, the powers, like the variety of powers, all of that is great. Some of the dialogue shit take some points off, but it's just like that's okay. Like I don't mind that. But it's in the back for me right now. Like I'm not buying into the hype. Like people hyped it up to the fucking death, and then the drink come out and it's looking like that. So I was like, no.
That game is ugly. That game is ugly on PC. That game is ugly everywhere. Forspoken, bro. How you ugly on PC, bro? That shit, bro? The ray tracing is like irrelevant. It's just a performance downgrade. It basically adds nothing because it doesn't really apply to much of anything. It looks terrible. Like how you have bad ray tracing, just bad. The lighting itself is just bad. The Forspoken is a great example of a game that just suffers from, I mean, I would say mostly just terrible lighting. Forspoken is like a prime example of why lighting matters. If that game had better lighting, global illumination, doesn't even have to be ray traced. It could be baked in. The game itself, it has like set time of day, so it's like you can't make a better global illumination, like implementation. Like the lighting in that game is so bad. It's like Gotham Knights. Gotham Knights, it can look a lot better with better lighting. The lighting in that game suffers or makes that game suffer.
What's crazy about Gotham Knights and Forspoken? Both their previous the games that preceded them, which are both almost 10 years old, had better lighting.
Better.
They all look better or had better lighting. Yeah.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 15 was doing old techniques, and that game's lighting is so much. It looks like it's a better looking game because of that. The lighting matters so much, bro. Like that's why I'm like excited for ray tracing because lighting fucking matters. Like looking at those games, you wouldn't even notice that Forspoken has like, oh, maybe it has better view distances or longer view distances, or it has better LOD management, or it has better texture quality. You don't even notice that because the lighting in your brain, you look at the game, it's like, bro, the lighting is fucking garbage. It just looks bad. It has better quality. It has some things that are better than Final Fantasy 15, but you don't even notice it because of the lighting. Literally, if that game had better lighting, it would absolutely look better.
And 1,000%. This is why Sony should not buy Square Enix.
Hey, yo, hold, pause.
This is exactly why. That's
not. No. No, I feel they should. They should.
No,
but it's just like it's the Luminous, whatever that fucking engine is, bro. They need to throw that shit in the trash. Yeah, they need to throw that shit in the trash. Like that whole I don't know shit about the team, but it's like Luminous Productions or whatever, man.
Yeah, that
cancel
team,
shit.
that engine.
Yeah,
I mean, you
yo.
can keep the people that worked on the gameplay for Forspoken, but everybody else get the fuck out.
Exactly. That shit, like, cause like that's the same engine they used for Final
Sell
Fantasy
them niggas.
the 15, right? It was the Luminous joint.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 15 still looked better though. That's the thing.
Exactly, it looked better.
It looked better. Like I don't know how they downgraded the lighting. Like, brother, and you're using ray tracing, and it's terribly used. It's like how do you downgrade? I don't know.
Like it's I don't know. Shit, I feel like that engine is just something that is kind of like it's almost on the same wave as 343 Slip Space. You see that they not working with Slip Space anymore, and they going to Unreal for the next Halo, and it's just like, why didn't y'all just do that from the beginning? Maybe build your engine out behind the scenes, like not try to rush it out.
Majority Halo Infinite was like built before Unreal Engine was even 5 was available. But the thing is, I'm still worried about
Halo
4 at least.
Halo graphically,
I'm worried
Halo
about
graphically still looks. Honestly,
I think I'm worried about Halo being on Unreal because I'm sorry, but a lot of games on Unreal feel the same. I don't know if they can imitate Halo's gameplay in Unreal Engine. It's just look a whole lot better, but I don't know if the gameplay is gonna be different, bro.
Hold on.
Those engines are very, very flexible for the most part, so they should be able to. They're very flexible. You could. There's 2D games made with Unreal Engine.
Yeah, I know, but like
platforms.
I don't. Is there any game that plays like Halo running on Unreal Engine?
I mean, how many games play like Halo?
There's some,
but I don't know. I don't know what
Destiny's made off of a engine that was based off the original the Halo engine. Same thing like Slipspace. So I mean,
what was that game called? Splitgate? I don't know what engine that is.
Yeah, I mean that.
Why?
Let me see.
Why isn't Xbox giving Halo to id Tech?
Because the
that
Halo,
part, I was about to say that.
Again, like the id engine and id Tech. It plays their shooters feel very floaty. They're fast and whatnot, but they feel a bit floaty, like Serious Samish, right?
Made on purpose.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I mean, that doesn't mean that they can't make anything else.
That's fine, but think about
it's not like a direct.
But think about the games, like for example, so like they're gonna look at the first person shooters that come out of like Bethesda, Wolfenstein, Quake, Doom.
Fine.
They all have that same similar, like, I mean, I'm not counting like arcane games, but they all have that same, like, sort of, it was meant to be done like fast and like, very like, it doesn't feel as grounded. They kind of have like this arcadey feel. Halo's arena combat, it just feels different. I don't know, like, and I'm sure they can make better looking Halos. And then capture stories and stuff and capture that environment, but I'm not sure if the gameplay will translate as well as it's been. 343 has done, if anything, 343 has done right since the Bungie days of Halo. It's the gameplay. It's never not felt like Halo.
True, but I'll say this: if you have faith in what do you call it? What's her name? If you have faith in the people, if you have faith in the people making Fable, wouldn't you have faith in id making a Halo game?
Well, here's the thing: Fable hasn't been around for 10 years, for over 10 years, and it's being completely rebooted, right? So we haven't been playing like we haven't been playing Fable every other year.
But hold on, it's a completely different genre than they're used to. id is a literal. They're professionals at making a first-person shooter. You don't think that they would be able to accommodate for the way Halo plays? It's not like Halo is some grounded shooter anyway. It's not. It's a floaty shooter still. It's less frantic and kinetic than Doom, but it's not like it's not like a stark departure, brother. Like they are professionals at at id. So I don't understand how they wouldn't be able to accommodate for that gameplay. It's so wild to me. Of course they would be able to. They're professionals.
That id engine is very flexible. Like we saw in the development of like Doom Eternal, and like what they did for the Series S. It's very flexible in terms of like scale and shit. Like I've never seen
that
an
engine's
engine
amazing.
do what that engine did. So I feel like Halo's not tethered to an engine per se. And I mean, even if it did help 343 mechanically, like that doesn't mean that Halo is going to come out visually looking like Doom. Like you'll have Halo introduce that grappling hook. Okay, Doom has something kind of similar to that. Like they're not turning Master Chief into a demon killing speed monster, some shit like that. Like it's not gonna be like that.
Yeah,
But it's
they're
just
not
like
gonna just copy what they did with Doom, brother. Like they're going to obviously look at the previous Halo games and look at how the timing of like animation, the timing of like weapon reloads, how weapon physics handle. Like they're gonna actually do the homework. Of course, they're not gonna just do whatever the fuck they want and not look at the previous games, bro. Like that's not how that works. You think that that's what they're doing with Fable? Like, no, they're gonna look at the previous games and see how the game operates. They're not gonna just like fucking change the genre or some shit. Like, come on.
Microsoft has a god tier developer there. In their own respective right. Like they have a god tier developer there. Like when it comes to that feel, the like just shooting, how weapons hit, all of that, like I mean, it feels amazing. And with them doing Quake and all of that, that's an arena shooter. Halo at its fundamental arena kind of like shooter when it comes to that multiplayer aspect.
Exactly.
About it.
And somebody said
I feel like that would work.
And somebody said in the comments, Tango didn't make Hi-Fi. Exactly. They came from Evil Within, completely different fucking genre. Come on now. You think the pinnacle of like shooter devs, you think they can't make a fucking Halo? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, let's be realistic now. It's literally in their wheelhouse. That is their shit. No one else makes better shooters than fucking id, bro. So it's like, what are you talking about?
Their DNA.
It's literally their DNA. So of course they can do that. That's fucking child's play. They'll do it in their sleep.
Okay. All right. So in other news, Halo future, is remaining with 343. We don't know what they're going to do. They still got to put out season 3, right? Because all we got recently was that winter update that technically wasn't season 3. I don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what Project Tanaka is. That's supposed to be a Halo Battle Royale that's supposed to be running on Unreal Engine. But like I said, we'll look for. We'll see. We will see. Also, some underrated news. The last case of Benedict Fox, Xbox exclusive, coming out April 27th, day and date on Game Pass. So that's going to be another game along with Minecraft Legends coming out fairly soon. Also,
what is that, Benedict Fox?
It's the platformer. I forgot about that game. I want to get that. I'll probably just play it in Game Pass.
Yeah, like a little side scroller mystery joint, I think.
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, The Pathless is coming on Xbox? Was that game never? What the heck?
That game was a PS5 and Epic exclusive, and then it came to Steam, and then I guess now it's coming to Xbox.
What game?
The Pathless.
Pathless.
I wanted to play that game, and I just never got around to it.
I'm still waiting for Kenna Bridge of Spirits to come on Xbox.
Yeah, that's another drink I gotta play.
Like, I'm gonna keep giving those developers hell on Twitter until they until they announce it. Saifu comes on Xbox next month.
Leave them niggas alone.
And
literally.
And then we know Ghostwire Tokyo, which was I finally I beat the game on PC. I will be playing it again on Xbox. I still think the date is March 28th for Xbox. So that'll be next month. So if anybody's interested in that,
that's a sleeper hit, man.
It's a sleeper hit. I had
that,
to.
That game ain't that game is mid, man.
Nah,
yeah,
it's one of those games that got a bad rap at the beginning, but then the more people play it, the more they like it.
Yeah,
So,
but I will say this though, I don't know what it is, but that game on PC is trash.
It's not. No, it's not.
Bro, I don't like. I've never.
You never
seen,
used DLSS.
No,
brother.
yeah, I
That's
do. Yeah, I do. I've been
literally it.
using DLS the whole entire playthrough. The problem is like I've never seen a game with so many drastic performance spikes. Like I almost want to open up my PC and see if I still got plastic left on my fucking cooler or something like that. Because like I've never seen like I would literally be like, all right, comfortable like 90 frames and stuff like that. And this shit just as soon as it start raining, shoot down a freaking 22 frames per second. I'm like, why? Why is this? And it was consistent. And that's why it took me so long to beat the game, because I was like, you know what? I got nothing else to do. I'm gonna play this game. And as soon as the performance dip start happening, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm putting it down. I will put it down literally for like 3 months at a time. So, but when it comes to Xbox, I know it's gonna be well optimized, where I don't have to worry about 80 frame dips from time to time.
I wonder what that is. This is why you should use RTSS or MSI Afterburner, so you can actually see. It might be like a CPU bottleneck, because I know you still have a 9700. That thing is getting old in the tooth. A lot of CPUs are better than that now.
Yeah, I don't want to go through like the next time I'll probably be able to like upgrade my PCs, probably maybe later on, like this year. I do want to upgrade my but the thing is, for me to make a respectable upgrade, I have to change out my motherboard, I have to change out the CPU,
Yes,
and I have to upgrade this to at least a 12 or 16 gig card. I haven't like, but apparently since they're using the PS5 and series consoles as baseline, so I mean, why would they even bother still selling 8 gigabyte cards at this point?
I mean, for lower mid tier, I can understand, but I mean, if you use DLSS, that usually lowers VRAM, and honestly, lower texture settings, texture and shadows. That's what eats up all VRAM. So you don't necessarily need ultra. Just go to high and medium. Should be okay.
I don't know. Now you watch Digital Foundry a lot. One of the reasons, outside of it being $70 and being published by Square Enix, that I didn't buy Forspoken yet on PC is because Alex said that if you have an 8 gigabyte card, you're not going to get, regardless of what you do to your settings, you're not going to get the textures, the high textures.
Forspoken is fucking stupid. They don't give you any visual information. Like usually they'll have in a settings menu, they'll have like a graph of like how much VRAM is going to be utilized. They have nothing for that. So you put on ultra textures, you go in the game by 8 gigabyte card, it just never fucking loads. All your textures look fucking blurry. It's like the fuck is going on? So I mean, in that game, you'd have to put it to maybe like medium. I think high and ultra is just not feasible for an 8 gigabyte card. That game is just fucking stupid. You don't think I can get that game is just a terrible game.
I can get high settings at like freaking like 1440p and just maintain like 60 FPS.
With DLSS on quality?
With 3070 Ti, and I mean, I have 24 gigs of freaking RAM. I mean, no, actually, I think I have more. I have 32 gigs of RAM. What the fuck?
Yeah, if you have two, you probably have 32. I mean, with DLSS quality, you'll stay above 60, I believe, but not native though. That game is hard. Like the game is hard on console and PC.
But why
that game
is it so hard if it's not pushing nothing? The visuals are like
bad optimization and or engine limitations, bro. Bad optimization or engine limitations. That's the only thing I can think of. Because I mean, to be fair, it is very, very particle heavy. It is a very heavy particle game, in terms of like particles and effects. That probably pays most of the reason as to why it's like super heavy. But I mean, in the overworld wise, there are times where it's just like demanding as well. I mean, on my system, I switched out my CPU. I have a 5800X 3D now and a 4090. At one point, I saw it reach 65 FPS at native maxed out. I have a 4090. Like, what the fuck? It's a 4K card. And I reached 65 FPS at one point. Like, that game is just fucking demanding. And it's just, yeah, no matter where you play it, it's whatever, bro.
Yeah.
But I want PlayStation to buy Square Enix.
I do. I do. I'm sick and tired of Square Enix. I need PlayStation to gobble them up so they can just be, there, and I don't have to ever like look in their faces again. Square Enix is probably, I think, the worst Japanese publisher out there, but I think under PlayStation they will, thrive. So I think
they have like bad expectations. I give them that. Like I mean, what they be expecting to be like fucking retarded, but I mean, I don't know.
Square Enix as a PlayStation studio or publisher, whatever, will exceed all sales expectations because their games will sell remarkably better, right? PlayStation games are held to a much higher regard, and if you consider like the regard, like Square Enix games sell generally well, just not well enough for their expectations. You add that PlayStation branding behind it, it'll do a lot better. Like Forspoken sold what it sold basically off the strength of PlayStation. Whether at the end of the day, it's still at the end of the day will be maybe it'll still be a flop, whatever. But you gotta think about it; it could have been a lot worse.
Square Enix low key trash though. Like low key, they
I mean, most people they're mostly carried by Final Fantasy, whether that be 14 MMO or like the 16 or the remake 7.
It's like for every good Final Fantasy you get Babylon Falls or you get
that's facts. That's facts. Like I'll say like. Yeah, like they're obviously their main bread and butter is Final Fantasy. Outside of that, they do have some other Japanese games that people care about. You can look at Octopath,
Dragon Quest.
You can look at Dragon Quest is a big one in Japan for sure. Personally, I didn't like the last one, but other people loved it. Whatever.
I loved it. I loved it.
But yeah, it's a I don't know Japanese game wise they have a better average batting average than AAA for sure, or the AAA Western games. They have a better batting average.
Japanese audience that PlayStation gamers are worried about, buy Capcom. Like, don't fuck with and buy Capcom.
No, I just don't want Sony to buy them because fuck that. I want my PC ports day and date. I ain't trying to wait for them to.
You'll still get that. You'll still
That's
get
funny.
that.
All right, man. Well, I'm about ready to get out of here while it's still early. Appreciate everybody who come through to the podcast, the chat. You guys have been great. Make sure you hit the like button and the share button on your way out. Bless, you're about to say something. What's going on?
I was gonna say somebody was in the chat talking about how do we feel about Atomic Heart.
Atomic Heart. I'll give you my quick thoughts.
Have a couple things.
I think it looks good, but it's gonna be one of those games that it's probably not going to score as high as we anticipated because it's going to be too hard for the average person to play.
Too hard?
I think, it's going to have a difficulty problem.
Yeah. I mean, difficulty setting, just turn it down.
What if there isn't one? Like
I doubt that.
I've seen a developer. They released a developer gameplay video, and the developer never got past the boss.
I mean, that nigga could just be trash, bro. You know how these developers get down, like when they actually play their own game.
But at the end of the day, I understand you die on purpose a couple times, but you still finish the gameplay demo beating the game, even if you have to do time cuts. This dude they time cut the video 3 times, and they still finished the demo with him dying. Like I'm like. Yo, I was like, what? That doesn't bode well for me. Like, if this, because when I usually use these gameplay demos, that's like, okay, this is a boss. That's how they beat it. So I use it. I was like, okay, so eventually this is how I can beat the boss. And if you're telling me on an early gameplay demo that a preview to sell the game, you can't beat the boss, then that's a problem. And I think that's
like, I'm telling you, like, I think it was GameSpot or IGN or somebody. They said that there is a difficulty slider and there is also a story mode type of level. So where you can just focus on the story and you know how that goes, where it's like enemies are just like one shot kill. All right, we out of here type shit. So it's like, I mean,
game dev level.
Hopefully the normal difficulty is like, normal, because what they showed off, I was like, all right, so this is really going to be a problem. And then the thing is, because you're shooting robots, the hit detection, I'm afraid, isn't going to feel as satisfying because it's going to feel like you're not doing damage like at all. Like, you know what I mean? And like, I don't like how enemies react to being shot or punched and stuff like that.
But you see how the material comes off of them as you damage them. So that's a good indicator on like if you're doing damage at all to these machines.
I think he's more like along the lines of like when you're shooting a human in Uncharted, like they wince, they grimace, they stumble and shit like that. See, like,
robots, them niggas
ain't doing none of that shit. Robots,
like they pulling up.
Robots be pulling up. No cap.
I think visually it looks good. I think the performance is going to suffer on console.
You think?
Mm.
What make you think? What make you
I can
say
see
that?
that. Yeah.
Like what the gameplay they show, it was a lot going on. The environments looks graphic,
Sure.
visually, like
Crazy.
the fidelity of the visuals looks really good, and there's a lot of particles. So I think it's going to suffer on console.
They said it's 60 frames. So who knows if it's
the game was
1440,
now. Just to give
like,
you guys a heads up, right? This game really shouldn't be. This game was originally supposed to come back on 2018. It was supposed to be the showcase for the Xbox One X.
Oh wow,
that's what it like. You remember? I still have a reaction vid to Atomic Heart from 2018 or 2017 that did some numbers. This is when I thought was coming out, back then. And
Mundfish been making this game for years, bro. Like I saw it even before that. Like, and I thought that it was never gonna come out. So.
Yeah, I just hope that game is not a fucking vertical slice and it's not gonna end up like, oh, we thought it was gonna be good. Turns out it's fucking garbage. I pray it's actually gonna be like exactly what we see, and it's really good.
The thing we gotta be careful about, right? Because of there's a lot. Remember, this is a Russian studio, right? So there's gonna be automatic bias against even supporting the game, right? So you got
propaganda, sure.
So you got that factor in, and then like I said, I still think the game is just going to be too difficult. I think overall, it's going to be I think it's going to be a polarizing game. I think it's going to be in the field is you either love it or you hate it. Like I think it's going to be a situation like that.
I can see that. It's giving me possibly like I don't know, like almost Dishonored type vibes. Dishonored type vibes. I don't know, maybe.
It looks cool though.
It's an alternate history type situation. So it's like, I mean, it feels akin to like kind of like a BioShock to me. So it's just like that's how I'm gonna treat it. So that's how I'm gonna treat it. I'm gonna treat it like it's just Russian BioShock.
I meant to say that.
Yeah, Game Pass. Day one on Game Pass.
That's some bullshit.
Game Pass. That's bullshit.
And then 2 weeks after that, we got Wolong. You know what I mean? So that's what I mean. So I'm sorry, like B2. I ain't gonna lie. For the month of February and March, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be pretty much eating good between Atomic Heart, Wolong, freaking Ghostwire Tokyo. And I'm pretty sure there's another game coming out that's not coming to my mind right now.
Hold on, Smooth. You a full-on Souls player now, man. What's going on?
Well, Wolong is like I feel like it's a little friendlier than your traditional Souls. I'm hoping like I see a lot of comparisons to Neo. I'm hoping it's less like Neo because
Neo was fun though. I gotta get back to that, but Neo was lit.
I do think Neo is easier than like the typical Souls game though.
Yeah, for sure.
It's easier. So.
And the reason why it's the Souls games, I had to stay on my toes because the problem is that if I just wait for From Software to release a Souls game, then it gives me too much time to be rusty. So what happened with this shit last year? Well, after Elden Ring, there was games like Asterigos, Still Rising that came out that kept it like the gameplay fresh for me, so that I didn't like fall off a cliff. And now I feel like the next Souls game that come out, maybe the new Lords of Fallen game, maybe it's good enough. I don't know how they remake the first, like I don't know how you make one game and then you remake the one game, right? Or reimagine that one game. It's just weird. But in a game like that was an Xbox One PS4 generation game too. That's why I think it's kind of funny. It wasn't even that old. But
yeah, they bugging with that shit.
Hopefully it's decent, you know what I mean? But hopefully it's decent.
And that one thing about, I don't know why the fuck they said this shit in the interview, I guess, fucking about PC performance. They're like, oh, we're gonna have Denuvo, but you guys are gonna have DLSS, so it's fine. What the fuck? What? That makes no fucking sense.
Can you explain this whole Denuvo situation, like, before we get out of here? I don't understand what is it?
Okay, so essentially, Denuvo is an anti-piracy or also sometimes implemented as an anti-tamper software that essentially is running constantly on your system. And essentially, it affects your CPU, which is why them saying DLSS makes no fucking sense. That helps your GPU, not your CPU. But
Oh shoot! No wonder why you hate it, Bless. Oh man.
I mean, my CPU is one of the best you can buy. So I mean,
Hold on.
I'm still
You
still
said
good.
you said anti-pirate, so that's why.
I'm gonna buy the game regardless, though. My dude, the fuck. And it's in Game Pass, which I already have. So whatever. But back to my point. Yeah, so it's like, so it's an anti-piracy, anti-tampering software. But essentially, what it does, for the most part, like, because there are games that have Denuvo and they still get broken. Like, people still are able to pirate it. But essentially, what it does is it hurts the performance of your actual CPU. I've had a situation where I bought Resident Evil 2 Remake on PC, and literally at one point in time when it first came, or when I bought it, I literally would get like freezes in the game for like 10 fucking seconds. 10 seconds. Like the game just froze, and I thought the game crashed. No, it just froze because Denuvo. Literally. Like people say like, oh, Denuvo is not that bad, but there are certain situations where it can fuck up your fucking game, bro. Like, it not only does it like it affect like performance of load times, it perfect like, you know, startup and like just general load time, but also like, you know, like the freezing where I was experiencing Resident Evil 2 Remake, and literally once it was removed, that it never happened again, literally. So I know for a fact this is Denuvo. There's situations like Resident Evil 8 Village, where they had Denuvo and their own anti-tamper on top of it. And what essentially it would occur, literally the game, when you're in the house with all those bug bitches, whenever you'd get grabbed, or those bugs were in your field of vision, the game would fucking tank your GPU. It would tank your performance in general, because for whatever reason, Denuvo was like going crazy, anti-tamper is going crazy, and I'm talking about like 17 FPS. It would go down to 17 FPS type shit, and then the second they're off your screen, you're not looking at them anymore, boom, back in the hundreds. It makes no fucking sense. And the thing is, when the game was pirated, when people were pirated the copy, that didn't happen. So it's like, you're giving a worse experience to people that are paying for your fucking game. How does that make sense? I understand piracy, but the percentage of people that pirate versus actually buying the game, it's a stark difference. For example, Cyberpunk came out. I mean, this game sold crazy, but most people bought that game on PC. And guess what? GOG requires, if you put your game on GOG, which they own, CD Projekt Red own, you put your game on there, it requires that it has no type of DRM. That means no Denuvo. So essentially, the second that game is out, you can literally just copy a file and put it in Google Drive and send it to anybody you fucking want. Guess what? That game still sold fucking 20 million. Like, what the fuck? Like, piracy is not as big of a deal as people make it out to be. So it's like, why hamper the experience for people that are actually buying your fucking game? It makes no sense. It just makes no sense. You're hampering the experience of most of your players because of 5% are pirating. Tell me, how does that make sense? People are just gonna. So instead, what people do is when they see Denuvo, they're like, "Oh, I'm not buying the fucking game." So you're making people not even purchase. You're making people not even want to spend their money when they have Denuvo. People are like, "Oh, I'm not gonna buy this game now." Like, there's literally Steam forum threads of this happening. Like, "Oh, this game is Denuvo. Oh, not buying it." So it's like, it's a lose-lose. So I don't know why companies are still putting this in game. And for him to say that makes no fucking sense entirely, because DLSS helps your GPU, not your CPU. But that's essentially it. People are, I don't know. Devs are stupid. Wow. Devs are stupid. Yeah, okay. That's basically it. If you want a synopsis of Denuvo.
All right, cool. Quick take on Redfall. Redfall was getting some backlash because it requires online connection, despite if you're playing multiplayer or single player games. Their explanation for that from the Arcane was that because when you're playing multiplayer with other people, you like Outriders, like I said it would, you'll get a lot of stuff like loot and XP and stuff carries over. It's just the only thing that doesn't carry over is the story progress, and that somehow obviously I guess needs you to be online to record that to authenticate whatever you unlock. I'm not exactly sure. That might be me damage controlling a little bit, but that they did verify, because you unlock, you know, this, that, and the third, some of that stuff does carry over with you to your single player experience outside of the story progression. A lot of people, you know, say, no, you can't do this, we're gonna boycott. Now, and ignore the fact that a non-multiplayer game, Hogwarts Legacy, also requires an online connection. Not sure why, but it does. Didn't get nearly enough as the backlash, but just if you guys want to know my thoughts, I kind of really don't care. I'm online all the time with my Xbox account, computer, my phone. I'm always going to be connected, whether I'm playing a single player game or not. I'm always going to be connected. Matter of fact, I feel insulted or something's wrong if I'm not connected. So, but yeah.
Smooth, you think that game looked fire though, man?
What game?
That look like Redfall. Man.
I think Redfall, does it look?
That thing looks so generic.
Generic?
It looks boring, dog.
I don't think it looked boring. I think there's fun to be had in a game like that. Remember, I enjoyed Outriders, so it doesn't really take much. It doesn't really take much to like get my attention with some of these games. I like the hybrid option of this is like a single player experience / multiplayer experience. I like being able to, like, you know, rack up in somebody else's game and then bring some of that content into my game and try to take advantage of it. I just want something new, man. It's a new IP, so, you know, I'm giving it you know, the chance. Sure, Arcane doesn't make graphically impressive games, like, you know what I mean. Deathloop didn't look that great. I think their best looking game to date is probably Prey. I
say it's Deathloop.
You think Deathloop?
Yeah.
I seen Deathloop too many times, and I didn't think it, like, nothing, whether I'm playing in performance, whether I was playing with ray tracing, I didn't think it looked visually impressive at all.
I don't know.
I thought it looked really good. The aesthetic looked really well.
The aesthetic that they went for looked really good.
Yeah, that was dope. But with Redfall, like, I'm leaning towards what Dre saw. It's just like when they first showed it looked dope. Like, I was like, oh damn, this shit about to be fire. And then they went into this next showing where it's like the gunplay and all of that. Like, I was sitting there like, the fuck is going on? Like, it looked like I was kind of like walking through with what is it, like one of those airsoft guns, but without the details though. I was like, damn, like, what they doing? So I'm hoping that they add some. I don't know, bro. That shit looked like textureless. It looked like I was fucking with Gumby or something, bro. Like, it looked like I was in Gumby world, bro.
I think it's like a more. It's kind of like a similar type of aesthetic as Deathloop, to be honest, or Dishonored.
But it's like,
in my opinion,
when you see the weapon, like, I don't know why the weapons are my problem, but it's just like them Jones.
Oh, the weapons need to look more realistic.
Yeah, they didn't have none of that. Like, I was just sitting there like, why does that look like that? Like, I mean, obviously the game is gonna be fun. Like, it's gonna be fun. You fucking up vampires, all of that. But the only time where my excitement kind of rose was when they kind of showed the boss or something like that came out or whatever. And I was like, ooh, like, that looks fun. Like, besides all of that, I just wasn't impressed. Like, I don't know. Like, I love Arcane. Like, I love Dishonored. So, like, I love Deathloop. I loved the drink when you're in space. I forgot that damn name. It's escaping me. Yeah, Prey. I love Prey. So it was like I was expecting something like that. Like, I don't know why, but I was just expecting something like that.
Do you guys think people's expectations are just not being met because they expected it to be like Left 4 Dead?
Oh, hell no. I don't think we wanted Left 4 Dead.
Yeah, I didn't want that. Hell.
No, I'm saying in general, not how you personally feel. I'm saying, do you think people felt like it was going to be like Left 4 Dead, and that's why they're like,
once they said 4-player kind of co-op, I feel like people that were leaning towards Left 4 Dead or Borderlands. They were expecting one or the other or a mix. So potentially so. Potentially so. And they said also how progression works if you join somebody else's game or whatever. Like only the main person gets to progress through the story. So the people who join you, who come in, they don't progress anywhere. So they go back to their game. They still in the beginning, but they came and helped you make it through like a few levels or some shit. So then I hear like a lot of people hate that aspect too. So
Yeah.
they don't like it.
I don't like that in Dying Light either.
You still get like the gear and everything in the XP. So that's important, like in your play along, and it's familiar territory. So if the game is good and the gameplay loop is good, it could probably be fine. I mean, people do shit like this in Destiny all the time, playing through the same shit all over again, just because. But
true. But that's kind of like that's
for the gear lottery.
Yeah, but that's probably what. But think about it. I think this game is probably closer, and I'm not saying as far as gameplay, but this game is probably closer to Destiny than what it is a fucking like, Back for Blood. It's literally Destiny and Far Cry had a baby, and you're fighting vampires instead of zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to see more like no cut gameplay from it, to see more of it. So
yeah, for sure.
All right, guys, let's get out of here, man. Outros. Let's start with Fat Boy.
Yeah, sorry for being late. It's good to have everybody in here. I know the panel just we be rotating. Like we don't know who gonna show up. Like this Russian roulette. So I mean, but it's cool to be here, dope to be here. I always fuck with Smooth and talking about games and shit. So yeah, y'all can find me on Twitter, man. Shit, you know the name. Like I don't give a fuck. Peace.
NickBanks.
Yeah, man, this was a good Saturday, man. I'll be here every other Saturday, follow me on Twitter, which is NickBanks39. I don't know, man. Like, I don't think I'm gonna finish this Judgment no time soon, so I'm gonna be playing that for a while on PlayStation. Waiting, I couldn't finish Hi-Fi Rush. So I'm waiting for a different game on Game Pass, but yeah.
Let's do Age of Empires on multiplayer.
See y'all next time.
Let's see. I need a beta tester.
Oh man, you know what? I'm gonna download it.
See how good
I'm gonna download it because I used to play it a while ago. I still owe you a fade in the MLB joint. You know what I mean?
Oh man, I still got that shit recorded. That was a epic one.
I still got it recorded. All right, bro. Yeah, I got you.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that Age of Empires though, man.
Sir Dre.
We gotta get Dre on there too, man.
Yeah, bro. He don't play on Xbox. He sold his Xbox and he went with a fucking mediocre.
He got a PC.
Computer. A mediocre ass computer.
Oh yeah, Dre, when you upgrade him, bro? Let me help you out. Okay. I'll give you exactly what you. I'll tell you exactly what you need, bro.
Stop hating on my PC, dog. I got a trash GPU, but everything else is fire though. So anybody want to gift me a nice GPU,
Man said gift, bro.
You know what I mean?
Nah,
your boy Bless got all kinds of stuff over there, bro.
Oh man, nah, chill. I'm not getting rid of my 3080, bro. That's the last card EVGA made. I'm keeping that shit forever.
This dude.
It's the last card of one of the biggest fucking manufacturers of GPUs, man. They've been in the game for 20 years. Well, it's a collector's item, honestly.
What card do you have from them?
EVGA 3080.
Bro.
Oh, give me that shit here.
Hold up.
Nah.
Hold on, yo. He said it's gonna. No, it's not. It's not gonna hold no value, dog. What are you talking about?
It is the last card that they made.
It's the last card that they made.
got.
I'm saying when you hold on to those cards, after a while they start fucking mutating roaches.
Yeah, like what are you talking? He a fan, bro.
Mutate and a roach? What?
Sir Dre the Great, get your outro, please.
What do you say?
Good talking with y'all.
Man,
y'all can catch me on PlayStation, all day, every day. So That's where I'm at.
You
But
play COD, bro?
From here, from time to time. I got to download it. Play it from time to time.
Yeah, I got it on PlayStation, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, it is crossplay, so even if you didn't have it on PlayStation,
that's true. That's true.
Look at this dude finding reasons to play his PlayStation. You're gonna play a fucking cross-play game. That's the game you're gonna mention? A cross-play game?
I don't know. I get more kills on PlayStation. That's just
yeah, because them niggas suck over there. That's why.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what it is, bro.
Yeah, it was the same thing. And I suck at Call of Duty. Every time I got on PlayStation to play like Black Ops 3, I was like, wow, I'm actually decent at this shit.
Right.
I get on Xbox and it's like I played on Xbox. I was like, "Yep, I'm uninstalling this shit." And literally, I would link up when they made it crossplay. I would literally link up with people like Audible and shit like that, just so we can get more PlayStation players on the opposite team. That shit, I don't know what it is, man. maybe it's that fucking those DualSense triggers, you know what I mean? Maybe they're just a tad bit too slow. Maybe it's too realistic, right? That feedback or something like that. I don't know. But Bless Red, your outro, because I kind of want to get out of here. My background's getting loud.
Gotcha. Got a podcast. Catch me at _BlessRed on Twitter. That's it.
And you guys know me. As always, Xbox is the best box. I am the best bot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. We're out of here. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.